let's start here with the MVP. Or is this the MVP race? Is it a 2 to 3 man race with Drake May, Matt Stafford, and I'm going to add Jonathan Taylor in there, even though he's not on this graphic. I think he deserves some mention.
I mean,
please.
You can mention them, but we always know running backs don't win the MVP. I mean, you can mention them, but we all know it's between these two guys. I mean, right now, yes, they're definitely it, unless Allen catches fire at the end of the year. I think Mahomes is. I think they're just pretty much out. They're just going to be fighting for a playoff spot at this point. They're just. I know Mahomes was in there, but yeah, I think these are your two guys. Now, I know the odds took a look. I know Stafford's hit after the loss against the Carolina Panthers. His odds went down a little bit, but man, it's hard to argue between the two of these guys. I mean, maybe you get. I think you give Drake the slight edge just because he has a better record, but man, Stafford, he looks phenomenal this year, and I didn't draft him at all in any of my fantasy football teams because I
have him, and I've been riding it on, my friend. I've been right. I was 1-5. I took the Matt Stafford off the bench in my league, off the waivers. Got Matt Stafford off the waivers in my league, but that's because I had Devontae Adams too. So I really only got him for the stack because I wasn't starting him because I had Jaden Daniels. So I had Jaden Daniels. I wasn't even starting
the choice.
And then Jaden goes down. I had Matt Stafford there, and then when I had Jaden, I noticed that Matt was outperforming him. So the last game that Jaden was actually healthy for, I started Matt Stafford over him, and paid dividends for me actually that game. Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Go ahead with your point, and then I'll make a point here about Allen.
I was just saying I was worried about his back. That's the only way. That's the only reason I didn't draft him. I was worried about the back issue, during preseason. I was like, I'm not going to draft him.
Yes, during preseason it was sticky, right? And they were making, and now the guy coming out look like there's nothing ever wrong with the guy. But you looked at him. The story was that he did have lingering issues, and the back issues kind of well publicized. Now, I think what's interesting is that he comes out and just looks steady the whole time, man. He just looks steady Eddie, man. He's throwing touchdowns to my guy Devontae Adams, and I think what has them in the race, because when you look at it, I think one of the bigger things here, one of the bigger storylines about this particular MVP race is a bigger storyline for this season as I look at it as we come into week 14, because a lot of times when you're going through the season, you kind of think things will regress to the mean, that you're going to see your guys still be the guys. Like, now when I say your guys, this season, the league guys, your Josh Allens, your Lamar Jacksons, your Patrick Mahomes of the world, these are guys that have kind of carried the league for the last few years. Jalen Hurts as well. These guys have carried the league. So you expect to kind of just go through the motions, right? Like, these guys will figure it out. We'll get down to it. The wire, the Chiefs kind of stumble every year. They're going to figure it out. The Eagles will figure it out. Lamar will figure it out. Josh Allen will figure it out, right? You're thinking that they'll just get it all figured out. Then you get the season, you're like, wait, man, it's not exactly getting figured out right now. I mean, we're kind of running out of time to figure it out. Like, we're now 2/3 of the way through the season. We're in December now. It needs to get figured out immediately. And when you look at the stats, so what's funny is looking at the stats when I'm looking at the rankings here, at least on and this is a fantasy pro, so that just take this for what it's worth. But I definitely gives me a snapshot of the statistics here. You do still have Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes up there. Like, they're still in the conversation. The person who has fell the most out of the conversation is Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
Lamar Jackson has fell a lot. Far as the quarterbacks you look at as like the banner great QBs that we've seen the last few years, the MVP guys. Pat is still here. 3,200 yards for Pat. 22 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. Josh, a little bit of a step back, and I think that's just because of the interceptions. He's 19 touchdowns, but 10 interceptions for him. It's going to be hard. 69.4 on a completion percentage, 28-32 on the yardage for Josh. Hard to put him in the MVP with those numbers. Like, you're more so competing. So he's out, in my opinion. Josh Allen, no way he'd make MVP this year. Not with the numbers being what they currently are. Unless one of these other guys just falls off. So when you look at guys, like even Jalen Hurts is 19 touchdowns, but he's only got 2 interceptions. So you could argue Hurts, but Hurts has less yardage. when you look at Drake Maye in comparison to these other guys, if we're looking at just this through the lens of the MVP race, Drake Maye has 3,400 yards. He got the most yardage out of any of these guys. I think he's got the most yardage in the league. However, that might change because he's also just now getting a late buy. Some of those late buys can be pump fakes for guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you're seeing people with late buys, you got to understand that a lot of their yardage and their statistics have an extra game calculated in there for them that isn't there for all the other guys. So you got to wait till they go through their buy so you can get a real good feel for, how he's really stacking up against these other guys. He's got about, so I feel like at 3,400 yards, he's sitting pretty comfortably. The person that could catch him within a game, he's got a couple guys. Pat, I think, can catch him within the game. He's only 180 yards off Pat. So if Pat goes for 200 yards this week, he's going to pass him. Dak Prescott, if Dak goes for 150 yards this week, roughly, which you probably will go for, he's going to pass Drake Maye as well. And Dak's at 25-8. It's not. Drake's at 23-6. It's not get crazy, right? When you're looking at Drake Maye, it's going to be record because Drake Maye at 71.5 percentage completion percentage. Another reason why people are very high on him, but that's my favorite stat. I love quarterbacks who can get it there to the guy. Drake Maye also, it's not just the facts of the yardage and the completion percentage. I do think that the 23-6 touchdown interception ratio does help him there. And he's got some rushing yards, but he's not like Josh Allen's got 400 rushing yards and 11 rushing touchdowns.
That's a little different.
That's way different. He's killing him. But Drake Maye does have 319. It's not sleep on him. And he does have 2 touchdowns there. When you compare that to Matt Stafford has 3,000 yards versus Drake Maye's 3,400 yards. But like I said, there's an extra game there. Hard to imagine Stafford unless he just goes gangbusters this week, catching that number even still, though. He had to throw for over 300 yards to catch that number. What makes Stafford impressive is a 32-4, and that's after a 2 interception game.
Right. Right. Exactly.
32-4, and that's after a 2 interception game. This guy, let's see here. Matt Stafford has rushed for negative 10 yards.
Well,
I don't know how you do that. Like, he's not exactly a rushing guy, but it's funny that you got 25 attempts for negative 10 yards. It's hilarious. Just submit your non-rushing fashion.
Right, but you also remember too is like when you kneel downs are considered negative yards. So they've been doing a lot of kneel downs too.
Okay.
But yeah, he's not a runner.
His 25 attempts are significantly pale in comparison to Drake Maye's 81 attempts. Jalen Hurts 84 attempts. Josh Allen 78 attempts. So clearly he's just not that guy.
Yeah, he's not that guy. He's never been that guy.
Never been that guy for sure. But 32-4 is juicy, man. Like he's got 66% on a completion percentage, and you take that bad dumpster fire game out of there that he just had. I don't know, man. I don't know. Is it Stafford or is it Maye? Is it Stafford or is it Maye? I don't know. Is it Pat again? If Pat could get the team into the playoffs, let me tell you this right now. If Patrick can get the team into the playoffs, he's right there with Maye because if you look at this week, let's say we go through this week and now he's even with Drake Maye in games because they both had their bye weeks, right? We get through this week. They both had their bye weeks. They're even in games. If Pat passes for 180 yards, he's going to have more yards than Drake Maye. He's at 22-7 on a touchdown interception ratio. He's right there with Drake Maye's 23-6. He's one behind on each one of those categories. For what it's worth, he's got more fantasy points than Drake Maye right now. He's rushed for 4 touchdowns, 348 yards. You can make a strong argument here for Pat, which is just a testament. How great are you to be Patrick Mahomes, Eugene, to where you can have a year like this? Let me re-say that. Patrick Mahomes this year, 64.6, number 2 quarterback in fantasy this year. Patrick Mahomes. It's not Drake Maye. It's not Matt Stafford. It's Patrick Mahomes. It is 22-7 touchdown interception ratio for Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is 348 rushing yards, which is probably what gives him the edge over Drake Maye. Those 4 rushing touchdowns. And we're calling it a down year for him. We're not talking about him. Did you hear the stats I just gave you? And we're calling that a down year. Patrick Mahomes is one game away from having the most passing yards in the NFL. And we're considering this to be an off year
winning.
For him.
That's a little different. Though.
It is. But the crazy thing about it, is Patrick Mahomes, because the winning, when you look at Drake Maye's situation, I feel like the Patriots are winning games, but I don't necessarily feel like Drake Maye is carrying them to their wins. I feel like the Patriots are winning games because Drake Maye is a solid QB, which I do like. I'm gonna take credit for Drake Maye the same way that I did for Bo Nix. But I like him. I like Drake Maye. That being said, though, that defense has a lot to do with the Patriots being what they are. The Patriots have an amazingly great defense. I think they're one of the run defense. They're like one of the top defenses in the NFL, if not the top defense in the NFL. So they got a great Drake Maye is getting a lot of help. Drake Maye is getting a lot of help. Now, all this said, and this is always, especially with Drake Maye, because this is going to be a good question here for because you could always ask this question and you kind of get to who your real MVP is, because the MVPs we go through over every year, and you could always ask yourself at the end of the year, would you trade the guy on your team for the guy that did win the MVP? This is always an exercise I kind of like to do myself. So this year we got Matt Stafford and Drake Maye this year, right? If everything stays the same, Eugene, those are kind of like the front runners, right? Those are the front runners. Do you think anybody trade Patrick Mahomes for either one of these guys?
No, but I mean,
even given Drake Maye's age, because the age factor should give Drake Maye a heads up. You know what I mean? And Drake Maye is got to be about 7 years younger, right? 7-8 years younger than Pat.
Yeah, Pat's 30. I think he's 21, 22 years old. But but the thing
you don't go with the young guy there.
Just because I've already know what I'm getting with Patrick Mahomes. He's taken teams to Super Bowls. He's won playoff games. There's not the unknown. I know I'm getting right away. If I put a good things around him, I know things are going to happen. But the cool thing is, Drake Maye hasn't had a lot of great talent. I mean, he has got some good
facts.
He's got I'm not saying
he's got okay talent, bro.
He's got okay talent and
middling talent.
And he still throws one of the best deep balls in the NFL right now. And Patrick Mahomes' deep ball is almost non-existent this year. It hasn't been really around even last year.
Let's look at that and see yards per attempt. Right? Yards per attempt 7.3 for Patrick Mahomes, whereas the yards per attempt for Drake Maye is 8.8.
Yeah,
that yards per attempt for Drake Maye is quite high, and that's only a list behind right now. That I'm looking at Sam Darnold at 9 yards per attempt. Sam Darnold, but I'm looking here, that 8.8 for Drake Maye is high. It's a high yards per attempt.
Yeah, and then you don't even have. I'm looking at the updated MVP race. They don't even have Mahomes on the list anymore because
he's not going to be there. He's not going to be there because of 6 and 6. No. I think, and I think at the end of the day, Mahomes not going to be there for what also happens to guys like Mahomes. You get fatigue. You see this happen all the time to where guys that you're just so used to them being so good. Like I just rattled off the numbers for Mahomes, and his numbers rival the guy that we are talking about for MVP. His numbers are right there with the guy, and he has a chance to pass the guy in a couple of categories. And not even going to be discussed. And I don't necessarily think that's a knock. I just think it's a testament to Patrick Mahomes' greatness. It's a testament to when you're this good to be Patrick Mahomes, to where people can consider this to be a down year for you. And statistically, you're murdering a lot of people in the NFL. Like you're right there with a guy that other people are saying, hey, this guy could be MVP, and you're not really being discussed. And that's all because of your team. You switch the guys, and you switch their records. That's strange, and that's very strange to me. You switch the records. That's very strange to me. It's strange. Not the fact that I don't think that Drake Maye doesn't deserve to look. Like Maye and Stafford don't deserve to look over Mahomes. But I think that it's always strange. And we went through this with Lamar last year. When you have guys that statistically are proving it, they're going out there. All they can do is go do it. And they're statistically, that's what they're doing. They're going out there and they're just doing it. But then people can say, they can kind of discount other things, and you're not even considered anymore. Like you're not even in the running. We don't even talk about you. And that's kind of where Patrick Mahomes finds himself here in this MVP race, as he comes away with the most yards in the NFL. A good chance to come away with the most yards in the NFL next time you play.
Yeah, hilarious. Teams not winning. his team's not winning. That's your big issue. I mean, Matt Stafford's teams are winning.
That's very
and you
true.
can look, Stafford has the better, he has more talent, and it's not, you can't look at the Chiefs and say they don't have talent. They just, but again, look at the teams that they're playing too. I mean, the Chiefs are playing, they are definitely playing a harder. They have the hard road.
Yeah, I feel like their strength of schedule is way harder than the Patriots.
Strength of schedule, obviously, since the Patriots had a losing record last year, and the Rams probably as well are having a tougher road. So you can factor all that, but I mean, it doesn't take. I don't think it takes back from the fact that Drake Maye is a talent. There's no doubt about that.
100% of my brother, he is 100%. He is, and I'm happy for it, man. I told you, you know how I feel about him and Knicks, man. Those guys, I'm gonna hold on to. I may call. I felt like both those guys showed me that I've not been off those guys since preseason of last year, and they've kind of continued that ride into this year. So it'll be interesting to kind of see. Yeah, it might be a little bit changing of the guard here, man. And you know what? As much as I do want to nail the changing of the guard story, I want to kind of hammer that home. Mm-hmm. You do still have Patrick Mahomes doing what he's doing, so that's kind of hard to do. And you do still have Josh Allen still with 30 touchdowns. Like, he's only got 19 passing, but he's got 11 running him in, so he's got 30 touchdowns. I mean, which is only behind Matt Stafford here, it looks like.
And again, we're not like, it's not like, so Stafford is your older one in this group, and Mahomes and Allen are still 30. It's not like they're like Stafford's 37, hurt back. Who knows how many seasons how many seasons he's got left in him, just because he took a beating when he was in Detroit. I mean, Allen and Mahomes could be right back there next year. I mean, let's just say the Chiefs go 9-8. Well, they're gonna have a 9-8, schedule next year, and maybe that helps them, kind of just, and they're right back, and they're right in Mahomes at that conversation. Same thing with Allen. They go the offseason. Maybe they steal a draft, steal a receiver in a draft, because that's the only thing with the Bills. They have no. It's like other than Cook, it's a bunch of nobodies on that team. Allen, right?
Goodness gracious.
But that's what happens, right? When you pay your quarterback, you've got to just start. You got to start stretching and finding guys, and so we'll kind of see what they do, how far they make the playoffs, and what they do in the offseason. But again, we could be here next year and be doing the same thing. Here's Mahomes and Allen again, number 1, number 2 in the MVP race, and maybe May takes a step back. Maybe he has the sophomore, slump that some guys get. So but it's exciting. At least it's a lot more exciting when you have a bunch of quarterbacks to talk about versus the same ones over and over again.
Very true. And I'm looking forward to Drake Maye 23, by the way. So about 23 versus Mahomes 30. You're right. I still think people would take Mahomes for the next 5 to 7 years.
Absolutely.
Give me 5 to 7 years versus 10. Isn't that crazy? That 5 to 7 years of a home versus what could be 10 to 15 years of another guy. People are like, just give me 5 to 7 to this guy, and I'm just gonna just see how this works out.
Yeah. Well, that's what you got, right? So that's what look with the Chiefs. What they got? They got the coach, they got the quarterback. Look at the Patriots now. They got the coach, they got a quarterback. LA, coach and quarterback. It's just like, that's what you need to figure out. That's what you got, those two combinations. You can cherry pick and build around those two guys for the next, like you said, at least Mahomes is going to be the next 5 years.
Yeah,
who knows
sure.
with guys?
For sure. I would try to do at least take Mahomes to 35, 36. Look at what Matt Stafford's doing at 37, right?
37.
So, you can make an argument here that Mahomes could be doing this here 7 years from now. Which is just very interesting. And it's not really, I can't really say changing of the guard. You go top 10 here, at least in yardage here. Josh Allen would still be in the top 10. Dak Prescott's always there. A guy that's under-mentioned is Dak Prescott. Always, when he's healthy, he's here on these lists more than people give him credit for. He is right up here in these lists all the time.
FanDuel didn't forget about him.
He'll never be mentioned. He'll never be mentioned in a MVP race. But the fact
he's
that
actually
Prescott
number 3
continues
right now.
to just do it over and over again is incredible. You think he is?
He is. He's right now. He's the number 3 candidate for the MVP race right now.
Dak Prescott.
Yep. He's at plus 1,600. Yep.
I'll take that, man. Even though I think that what is a 1 and 2 odds?
Oh, Drake is minus 120 and Stafford is plus 130.
Okay, so significant. Okay, it's
yeah,
a
it's
significant difference. I was going to say that third's got to be a distant third, buddy, and it sounds like it is.
Third. Yeah. But I mean, hey, they play great. I mean, their offenses looked amazing.
And Dak is a guy, man. The Dak, I told you, I push back on the Dak hate a lot of times when Dak gets hate. I push back on that a lot of times because you don't know what you don't want to see. Look at what Minnesota's going through, guys. As you Dallas Cowboys fans, you don't want to see what a quarterbackless team looks like. You know what I mean? You don't do it, guys. Because you start hating your quarterback like our team did here with Matt. The last few years he was here, and now we haven't had a Matt since he's been here. Nope. So be careful what you wish for.